What is up? What is good in your world? Hope you had a great weekend. A fun and safe weekend at that. Great to have you back with us. I'm the Madman himself, Matt Perry, and it's great to be back with you. We'll recap everything that happened this weekend in the world of sports and pop culture, and we'll also look ahead to the week in front of us, telling you everything you'll need to know and mark down on your calendar. So sit back, relax, you know the rules. It's time to turn the player up a little bit louder. You just stepped into the madhouse. Let's go to work. The first weekend of interleague play in baseball did anything but to disappoint. This week in interleague series proved why baseball could use interleague play moving forward with some exciting games and exciting matchups. We saw Steven Strasburg's first ever home run in the big leagues coming last night down in D.C. against the Orioles. More importantly, Washington, by the strength of Steven Strasburg's home run, was able to stave off a sweep from the Baltimore Orioles in the I-40 and Beltway rivalry. The Orioles are proving they are a tough team to beat, and with the Red Sox and Yankees scuttling right now, though the Red Sox do look better, the Orioles right now find themselves in first place, and now are been in first place the longest into the season since the 2005 series. People need to start paying attention to what the Orioles do this season, as they are proving that they are a very important force in the AL East moving forward, and could be a formidable foe for anybody else in the AL East. The Tampa Bay Rays have been questionable throughout the course of the season. The Yankees and Red Sox have been Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, been going one way, then going the other, and can't seem to get straight, and both teams have major question marks moving forward. Also, the Detroit Tigers saw probably the best pitching performances of the weekend. On the one hand, Justin Verlander goes 8 1/3 innings, allowing no hits against the Pittsburgh Pirates, and then Mark Scherzer comes out to close out this series, striking out 15 through only 7 innings. Surprisingly, however, every single one of his 15 strikeouts was by swinging. He did not get anybody looking. Also impressive is he only went 7 innings, could have gone more, but Jim Leyland, who's been known for being conservative with his pitchers, didn't want to tire out his starting pitcher, pulled him without having necessarily knowing if Scherzer was going to get the win. Detroit did pick up the win against Pittsburgh to move on and pick up the series victory over the Pirates. Also moving forward, big stuff out of Los Angeles, as we talked about the mega weekend that was sports in the City of Angels. On the one hand, the Dodgers are moving in the upright division and moving in the right direction, whereas the Angels are moving anything but. Albert Pujols has been struggling this season, and his struggles have been well documented. The Angels, trying to change things up, ended up firing hitting coach Darren Hatcher over the weekend, trying to spruce up and do anything they can to revitalize the Angels lineup. The move was met with a little bit of curiosity and frustration from those in baseball, and the Angels have responded by not looking very good. Pujols, at one time or other, looked like he was about to emerge from his early season slump. Problem is now his average is starting to decline more and really has become a question mark moving forward. The Angels had to make some key adjustments defensively late in the game last night and ended up costing them the game, as Howie Kendrick, who was normally a starting second baseman, was moved into the outfield, and a costly error allowed a pitcher to score from second base on what should have been an easy ground ball play for Kendrick out in the outfield. The Angels right now have more question marks moving forward than they do answers, whereas the Dodgers, on the other hand, despite all their injuries, have been able to stave off any contenders in the NL West, which suddenly looks like a big question mark on the collective whole. The Dodgers have been able to hang on to first place on the strength of one-run victories. They lead the major league with wins in that category. The Dodgers have been plagued by injuries, but have been able to get through it on a day-to-day basis, and you have to give a lot of credit in that regard to Don Mattingly, the manager of the Dodgers. The NL West has been a massive disappointment this season. The Giants have been nowhere as good as they've been in the past couple of years. The Diamondbacks have struggled out of the gate, and the Padres look like, well, the Padres. But that's to be figured out. It is a long season. There is no question about that. The question of is, with the Dodgers getting healthy as the season moves on, how will they be able to hang on to first place in the NL West moving forward? Are they the team to beat? Without question, that is the case. But you've got to figure teams like the Giants and the Diamondbacks will start to figure it out. This week ahead, teams go back to playing teams within their own division, and that should be a lot more exciting than seeing teams not play each other in their own divisions. This has been a lot of fun this weekend watching interleague play, and will be very happy to see it interleague play come back this season later on. Things we talked about last week on the show here on the Madhouse was how good would Battleship be able to do going up against the Avengers. These are two movies that marketed themselves as the same thing, an over-the-top blockbuster. Well, the answers are in, and the news is not good for Battleship, pulling in about $25 million. Normally, that would be a good thing, but the Avengers pulled in over $50 million, more than doubling that what Battleship did. Bad news for the Dictator, however. They finished in a very distant third, not even pulling in $20 million, well behind not only Battleship, but the Avengers. How well can Avengers continue doing moving forward is the ultimate question here for the Robert Downey Jr. superhero-type flick. The Avengers is certainly being cast as the marquee movie of the summer up until this point in time. Of course, the question will remain when Batman's new movie, The Dark Knight Rises, comes out in the month of July. How well will it do stacked up against the Avengers? We'll certainly be able to look forward to that battle coming up just around the corner. However, can Avengers have the staying power is the ultimate question, but right now, certainly doesn't look like it's going to be knocked off anytime soon. In the NBA is the finals of the Eastern Conference semifinals and Western Conference semifinals. We already have one matchup for the Western Conference finals set, as the San Antonio Spurs will be representing one side of that conference in the Western Conference finals. Question is, who are they going to face? The Spurs were able to sweep the Clippers over the weekend with a final of 102-99 to close out the fanatical weekend that was Los Angeles basketball and baseball and everything, and hockey and everything in between. The San Antonio Spurs will be back in the Western Conference Finals. This is nothing new to their territory. They've been here before and welcome this challenge. The question is, who are they going to face? Oklahoma City Thunder would love to be able to be that next team in to the Western Conference Finals if they are able to close out the Los Angeles Lakers tonight in Oklahoma City. Kevin Durant has elevated himself into the upper echelon of maybe the best player in the NBA, if not the best, and will certainly need to bring his A game tonight if he wants to close out the Lakers, who will be throwing everything they possibly can at the Thunder. Of course, Kobe Bryant has certainly brought his A game, but the problem is nobody else on the Lakers has seemed to want to step up. In the past couple of days, Kobe Bryant has been throwing motivational barbs toward the direction of Paul Gasol and Metta World Peace, showing and proving why he is the best player on the Los Angeles Lakers, but he knows he cannot do it alone. The Lakers have seen improvement from Andrew Bynum in the past couple of games, but that has not been enough to get the job done for the Lakers, and suddenly they find themselves with their backs up against the wall and certainly needing to do anything they possibly can in order to stave off elimination. Without question, the Los Angeles Lakers' window of opportunity to win another NBA championship is certainly closing. And if the Lakers were to lose tonight in Oklahoma City, the question would be upon Mitch Kupchak and the brass of the Los Angeles Lakers. How do they go about rebuilding and revitalizing a franchise that has major question marks moving forward? Is trying to go out and acquire Dwight Howard the answer to the puzzle when Andrew Bynum has proven at times he can be the formidable center that an NBA team needs to win and be ordered to win an NBA championship? That is the question moving forward. The Lakers will have to answer themselves, but can stave off that question if they are able to win tonight. Also in Boston, it will be Game 5 between the Boston Celtics and Philadelphia 76ers. The 76ers were able to come back from a massive deficit in Game 4 in Philadelphia. Boston was up big in the first half, but seemed like a different team in the second half, gifting this game to the 76ers to tie the game back up at 2. Philadelphia has all the momentum in the world right now, and suddenly looks like a team, if they are able to win tonight, could close out the series back in Philadelphia in Game 6. Boston, however, is going back to the Garden, where they have been much better at home than they have been on the road this season, and would like to be able to stave off any chance of having been closed out in Game 6. Kevin Garnett and Rajon Rondo will have to play like they did in Games 1 and 2, in order to get a win tonight in the Garden. Look for the Celtics to pick up the win tonight, but then have to go back and play Philadelphia in Philadelphia with Philadelphia's back in the proverbial corner and be fighting to come out of it. This should be a massive game and should be a highly entertaining game, as the 76ers will like to quicken the pace, and of course we never know what pace the Celtics are going to play at. Look for Paul Pierce and Ray Allen to have big games when needed the most. Also this weekend we saw the Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat lock horns. We saw the reemergence of LeBron James, proving why he was the MVP, scoring 40 points to tie the series back up at 2 in the Heat-Pacers series. Look, the lone knock-up on LeBron James over the past couple of years has been the fact that James shies away from the big moments, and when the lights are on bright, he does not step up to the plate. He stepped up to the plate in a big-time way over the weekend to tie the series back up at 2, which is exactly what Heat fans wanted to see. Going back to Miami, Heat fans should feel a little more confident than they did in Indianapolis. Getting out of Indianapolis was the best thing that Heat fans could possibly want to see. The question is, moving forward, how healthy is Dwayne Wade? He's been rumored to have both knee and ankle problems moving forward. That could be a huge problem for the Heat. LeBron James will need somebody to play second fiddle to him, and Wade was able to do that in Game 4. Question is, how healthy will he be in Games 5, 6, and maybe even 7 if needed? LeBron James can get the job done, but he cannot do it all by himself. We've seen that with what the Indiana Pacers have done by playing consistent team-style-oriented basketball. Roy Hibbert has been their counter-rock and star player this series. The question is, who else has been able to step up for him? Why, it's been a bevy of players in Game 4. It was not enough to get the job done and overcome the efforts of one LeBron James. Moving forward, this will be the most entertaining of the series remaining, and time will tell who gets to play in the Eastern Conference Finals. For this week, of course, it is the American Idol finale this week, and the question of the matter is, who will win this season? Will it be Philip Phillips or Jessica Sanchez? We can debate the merits of Joshua Ledet not being in the finals, but we'll save that for another time and place for later on this week. Without question, Ledet will have a very successful music career and might actually benefit from not being in the finals. Look, American Idol is not the name recognition in the music industry that it once carried, when it was able to pump out American Idol winners like Kelly Clarkson, Fantasia Barrino, and Carrie Underwood. Those three have been the most successful American Idols in history, not far behind, of course, being Jordan Sparks and Scotty McCreery, the most recent American Idol. But for every Scotty McCreery, Fantasia Barrino, Carrie Underwood, and Kelly Clarkson, there has been a David Cook, Chris Allen, Lita Weezy, and Taylor Hicks, all of which who have struggled to find their niche in the music industry. While each person has been able to put out at least one successful record, that hasn't been much more in the way of success. McCreery will be putting out his sophomore album soon as he finishes up his high school pitching career in the state of North Carolina, but the question is, moving forward, for the two people in the finals, in Sanchez and Phillips, is what will their mark be on the music industry? Also this week, Modern Family will close out with its season finale. This has been a show that's been very funny throughout the course of the season, and the question is, what do the writers have planned for the Dunphy family? Also, moving forward this week, we'll also see the return of a couple of other key shows and look for other shows to wind down as well as they hit either their season or series finale. House will close out its episodes as the last episode of House will air this weekend, as Hugh Laurie will take his MD license and retire it and hang it up for good. This has been a show that was very successful coming out of the gate, but then struggled in the mid-series, and coming down the stretch, Fox was left with no other choice but to pull the plug on a very much ill patient. House was at its best when its wit was at its top form, and Hugh Laurie, a character actor seemed to be plucked from mediocrity and obscurity, has found a niche and one of the most recognizable actors in the last 10 years in television. It'll be a shame to see House go, but there will be some people who will be cheering it, saying it was not what it once was. Nothing but cheers to Hugh Laurie. Well, that does it for this episode of the Madhouse. We hope you enjoyed the show as always. We hope to hear back from you later tonight when we'll recap everything in the world of sports. We'll recap what the Boston Celtics and 76ers game was like. We'll also touch base on happening in Major League Baseball. We'll also let you know how things are moving forward for 2.5 Men. What do they need to do to revitalize that program, which is struggling so mightily? We hope you enjoyed the show. You are hereby released from the house. Hugs and hand pounds, everybody. We'll see you tonight.